Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to today's press conference. Today we are happy to be joined by Mr. Feng Fei, Secretary of the CPC Hainan Provincial Committee and Chairman of the Standing Committee of the Hainan Provincial People's Congress, Mr. Liu Xiaoming, Deputy Secretary of the CPC Hainan Provincial Committee and Governor of the Hainan Province, Mr. Liao Ming, Vice Minister of Finance, Mr. Yuan Xiaoming, Assistant Minister of Commerce, Mr. Wang Lingjun, Vice Minister of the GACC, as well as Mr. Wang Changling, Vice Chairman of the NDRC. They will brief us on the development of the Hainan Free Trade Port and take your questions. Now we'll give the floor to Mr. Wang Changling for opening remarks. Friends from the press, good morning. Supporting Hainan in building a free trade port with Chinese characteristics is a major measure of reform and opening up, where General Secretary Xi Jinping was personally involved in its planning, implementation, and promotion. In June 2020, the CPC Central Committee and the State Council officially released the master plan for the construction of the free trade port. Over the past 5+ years, guided by President Xi Jinping's important instructions and under the direct leadership of the Central Leading Group for Coordinated Regional Development, we've worked with Hainan Province and relevant authorities to prioritize institutional integrated innovation, advanced reform in key areas, and introduced a number of signatory and pioneering measures. A policy and institutional system of the free trade port has been basically established with the following 4 figures as a key. The first number is 4. 4 means the more convenient flow of people, goods, capital, and data. Now, people from over 85 countries can enter Hainan visa-free. The total gross tonnage of the internationally trading ships registered at Yangpu Port is now second in the world. Capital can now be freely transferred between multi-function free account and overseas account, and for cross-border data, an active list is implemented. 3 means more opening up in terms of trading goods, trading services, and investment access. Zero tariff policies have been implemented for imported raw and auxiliary materials, vehicles and yachts, and self-use production facilities. China has introduced its first inactive list for trading services with 22 eased measures for market access and making it the most open active list in China. Second means more tax incentives for business and personal incomes. These 2 incomes have been cut by both 50% in terms of tax, with accumulative tax breaks totaling 31 billion and 17 billion yuan. The tax exemption for value-added processing products has been expanded to the entire Hainan Island, and the duty-free quota for off-island travelers is now 100,000 yuan per person per year. And 1 means continuing improvement in terms of legal safeguards underpinned by the free trade port law. We've introduced a special institutional arrangement to ensure relevant implementation, and together with 40 supporting regulations, this will help to ensure that all measures will be effectively implemented. Overall, with these policies in place, the development of the free trade port is now taking steady steps forward. We've already reached important outcomes and has laid the groundwork for the island-wide customs closure. The island-wide customs closure is a flagship project in developing the free trade port, and it is also an important measure for opening up. It is of milestone significance. Its main features include the following: first-line liberalization, second-line control, and unrestricted island-wide operations. First-line liberation means that to establish a line between the free trade port and other areas and regions and countries beyond China's customs territories. And for the second line, it is between the Hainan Free Trade Port and other parts of China, where there will be more targeted management for items that were already liberalized under the first line. This means a freer flow of all kinds of elements. So closure is not shutting down the island. Rather, it means greater opening up and more connectivity between Hainan and other parts of China and between Hainan and other countries and regions. This will help to further boost Hainan's development, explore ways for China's further reform and opening up. As laid out in the master plan, we will establish the framework of systems in a step-by-step manner, and together with relevant authorities, we've formulated the following 4 policies where there will be greater openness in the 4 areas. First, a more open zero-tariff policy for goods. The list of import taxable goods is a list that will be introduced, and the share of zero-tariff items will go up from 21% to 74%. And for processed goods with added value meeting the 30% threshold, they will be able to be sold to other parts of China duty-free. Second, more relaxed management for trade. There will be exemptions for the list of goods and items that are limited and restricted in terms of imports. And within the first line, we will impose exceptions. Third, easier passage. We'll have 10 more ports under the second line, where the import of goods from Hainan to other parts of China will be more convenient and easier. Fourth, more targeted and efficient supervision model. We will have targeted low intervention and high efficiency supervision for trade in goods and services that meet the zero tariff threshold. These policies will be available later, and they will take effect on the same day of island-wide customs closure. As of the specific date for the closure, as approved by the CPC Central Committee, it will officially start on December the 18th, 2025. It was on December the 18th, 1978, at the third plenary session of the 11th CPC Central Committee that began China's great journey of reform and opening up. Thus, choosing the same date for customs closure is of special significance. This is to show to the world our determination for further opening up and reform. We have a few months left. We will make full use of them to help business entities to fully understand relevant policies to adjust their operations. Customs closure will mark the new beginning of the building of the Free Trade Port. It will also be a long-term task for us. Going forward, we will continue to act on the decisions of the CPC Central Committee and the State Council, use closure as an opportunity to ensure the effective implementation of various policies. Also, we will take into account the needs of the Hainan province, continue to open up, and continue to improve the policy framework so as to build an open economy and turn Hainan into an important gateway leading China's opening up in the new era. These are my opening remarks. Thank you. Now let's give the floor to Mr. Feng Fei.
Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. General Secretary Xi Jinping has set great store by the reform, opening up, and development of Hainan, asking us to move faster to build a free trade port with Chinese characteristics and global influence, and a vital portal for opening up for the new era. Currently, the building of the Hainan Free Trade Port has gained momentum and up to the island-wide independent customs operation. Actually, just as Vice Chairman Mr. Wang mentioned, the policy and institutional systems have basically taken shape. The momentum is embodied in the outcomes and development trend of our preparations. First, Hainan is more open. Actually utilized foreign investment was 102.5 billion yuan with an average annual growth rate of 14.6%. Foreign direct investment was $9.78 billion, up by 97%. Newly established foreign-funded enterprises was 8,098, up by 43.7%. The average annual growth rate of trading goods and trading services grew by 31.3% and 32.3% respectively. 176 countries and regions invest in Hainan, making its dependence on foreign trade increase to 35%. Hainan has the best visa-free policy nationwide, and 85 countries have free access to Hainan. Second, industry system is optimizing. Tourism, modern service industry, high-tech industries, and tropical high-efficiency specialty agriculture, four pillar industries of Hainan, grew by 13.7 percentage points in 5 years, accounting for 67% of Hainan's GDP. New quality productive forces are prospering. The output value of southern seed breeding surpassed 18 billion yuan. Maritime output grew at an annual average of 13.9%, and China's first commercial aerospace launch site was developed with a high cadence and multimodal launch capability. The share of Hainan's offshore duty-free sales in global duty-free market was over 8%. Boao pilot zone has introduced very advanced medical devices, pharmas, and technologies. And actually, we have 18 approved China foreign jointly operated institutions or programs offering undergraduate and higher level degree, and 2 standalone institutions established by foreign high-level universities. Third, development climate is improving. The ecological quality of air, rivers, and coastal waters remains among the best in China, with PM 2.5 concentration and at 10 micrograms per cubic meter. The proportion of clean energy generation and installed capacity topped 70% and 80% respectively. Penetration rate of NEVs is 59.6%, ranking first in China. The Boao Zero Carbon Demonstration Zone has achieved a 99% reduction in carbon emissions, certified by authoritative domestic and international institutions. China has enacted the Hainan Free Trade Port law, stabilizing domestic and international expectations. And we have also established a one-stop international commercial disputes resolution mechanism that integrates mediation, arbitration, and litigation, ensuring that enterprises could have promising investment and be treated fairly. Fourth, the sense of gain of our people is improving. Good schools nearby and minor illness treated locally, major disease treated within the island are becoming a reality. With an average life expectancy surpassing 80.5 years old, and the urban population has increased by 530,000 in 5 years, making Hainan one of the 8 provinces in China with a net inflow of permanent residents. Hainan is becoming a new frontier for China's opening up, a thriving hub for regional win-win cooperation, and a fresh engine propelling economic globalization, laying a solid foundation for conducting independent customs operation and expanding opening up. We are well prepared for independent customs operation. And based on the planning of the CPC Central Committee, we have made well preparations. We have relevant policies and also the import tariff list, the list of prohibited and restricted items, policies and supporting documents, and policy for processed goods with value added sold domestically with duty-free. And on the hardware and software, we are also well positioned. Hardware facilities for customs control have passed the national inspection. The single window for international trade and the smart customs supervision platform have been built. Pressure tests and drills are carried out in an orderly manner. We are stepping up the full process, all element for coverage, large sample, and realistic pressure tests. And the ability to control effectively is enhanced. After 5 years of full preparation, we are more confident. Moving forward, we will continue to follow the planning of the CPC Central Committee and ensure the smooth and successful operation of the independent customs operation as scheduled. Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Now, let's come to the Q&A session, and please identify your media affiliation. Xinhua News Agency. The special customs operation is wide-ranging and systemic program. What measures will Hainan adopt to ensure the implementation of these policies? Thank you. Thank you. I think your question is also of common concern. The island-wide independent customs operation is a landmark and foundational program of the development of Hainan Free Trade Port. The top priority is the policy implementation. We'll accurately understand the mission and fulfill the primary responsibility, implementing in a project-based manner with policy items, task lists, and accessible outcomes to implement these policies. Specifically, we have 3 priorities. First, we aim to enhance the sense of gain of business entities and the public. And this is the most straightforward indicator of the effectiveness of our policy implementation. We'll intensify targeted publicity and interpretation, tailored guidance and services, and international investment promotion campaign to ensure that businesses and the public are fully aware of the policies and can fully benefit from them. And on the use of the policy, they could be benefited. Second, the integrated institutional innovation, focusing on corporate freedom, convenience, and compliance, will integrate the customs closure with existing policy of the free trade port to leverage synergistic policy effect and deliver tangible economic dividends through substantive reforms and innovations. Moreover, we aim to build a key hub for dual circulation. Implementation of the independent customs operation is part of deepening institutional opening up. We'll move faster to align with international high-standard economic and trade rules and build 2 bases, 2 hubs, and 2 networks. Namely, the headquarters base for Chinese enterprises to access international market and base for overseas enterprises to enter the Chinese market. International shipping hub of the new Western Land Sea Corridor and aviation gateway hub facing the Pacific and Indian Oceans. and International Air-Sea Transportation Network and International Economic and Trade Cooperation Network, thus attracting more foreign investment and making it more dynamic, ensuring that foreigners could live and work here more happily, and enabling them to integrate into our great market, and demonstrating our firm confidence and great opportunities of opening China's door even wider through policy implementation. Thank you. Thank you. Jimu News. The master plan of the development of the free trade port has mentioned the liberalized and facilitated institution framework featuring zero tariff policy. And could you brief us on the policy and is there any new changes? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. We've touched upon that in the previous answers, and I will give you more details from the point of view of the Ministry of Finance. Zero tariff is a key feature of the free trade port policy system. In recent years, the Ministry of Finance have implemented instructions of the CPC Central Committee, and together with relevant departments, we've worked on the zero tariff policies covering raw materials, auxiliary materials, vehicles, yards, and self-use production equipment. So the policy applies to these three types of goods. So far, we've had some outcomes, and this has injected new momentum into the building of a high-level free trade port. This has also given us valuable experience for the island customs closure. To advance the customs closure, the Ministry of Finance has summarized past policy experience, and we've taken into account the development of the port industries and also hardware and software in terms of supervision. And we've developed some new tax rules for goods entering and exiting the first line, the second line, and circulating within the island. An import taxable goods catalog has also been formulated. These policies will take effect upon the island-wide closure. Existing zero-tariff policies will then be integrated into the new system, and this will help us to establish a comprehensive zero-tariff framework. After closure, the tax policies will include mainly the following. For eligible enterprises, public institutions and non-profit organizations registered in the Hainan Free Trade Port, they may import goods outside the import taxable goods catalog duty-free. Zero-tariff goods and their processed products may circulate tax-free between eligible entities within the island of Hainan. Goods processed by encouraged industries in the Hainan Free Trade Port with over 30% of value added, they can enter other parts of China duty-free via the second line. So there are the following three key changes compared to pre-closure policies. First, expanded duty-free coverage. After closure, the number of zero-tariff items on the catalog will significantly go up, and this negative list will replace the previous positive list, and the number of items on the zero-tariff list will go up from the current 1,900 to 6,600. This means that 74% of the items will be duty-free, and this is an increase of 53 percentage points. We can see this is a significant improvement in terms of opening up. Second, broader beneficiary scope. The current zero-tariff policies only applies to independent businesses and public institutions that are registered in the Hainan Free Trade Port. And after the closure, the beneficiaries will be eligible to all kinds of public institutions and non-profit organizations with actual import needs. Third, more relaxed restrictions. After the closure, zero-tariff goods and processed products may freely circulate among eligible entities. Such policy will not only apply to businesses for their self-use, but rather such products can freely circulate. And this will help boost the industrial chain and competitiveness of industries so as to have a cluster effect. And overall, I believe these policies will further reduce business costs, spur market vitality, and make trade more liberalized and freer in the free trade port. Going forward, our ministry will continue to monitor the implementation of these policies, in particular how the entities are gaining from these policies. And with that, we will continue to improve them. We will also keep working with the Hainan provincial government to serve market entities and also to strengthen management to further help new outcomes out of China's reform and opening up. Thank you. Next question, please. From CCTV. We see that second line ports will be established after closure, and which will give more convenience for the flow of people, goods, vehicle, and yachts. But some worry that will it make it more difficult for businesses and travelers going in and outside of Hainan? Will this mean that there will be new passes required for travelers? Well, this is a very good question. I know a lot of people are worrying about that. As I've said, island-wide customs closure is for further opening up and greater development. And closure is to better serve development, and better development will better serve openness. So after closure, in fact, there will be more exchanges between Hainan and other countries and regions. And there will also be more efficient exchanges between Hainan and other parts of China. Given the current policies, actually now certain goods, when they go from the free trade port into other parts of China, they will be subject to inspection. Apart from that, most goods, including all the personnel goods and transport tools, when they go in and out of Hainan, current policies will still apply. There will be no change post-closure. And when people go to Hainan for business trips, for traveling, there will be no need for any extra passes. And as I've mentioned, certain goods will be subject to inspection. We will strengthen management for that, and I'll say a few words on that. Our goal is to cushion the impact of these goods entering other parts of China after they enter the first line. This is why we are having a targeted management at the second line. And this will affect three types of goods: zero-tariff goods, goods eligible for value-added processing policy, and goods subject to liberalized trade measures. So our goal is to make sure that these goods, when they pass through the second line, there are convenience. We will do the following. First, a one-stop passage. Businesses will be able to complete the declaration of goods in advance through an online system. Customs and security authorities will work with second-line ports to green-light their passage. Our goal is to have single declaration, single inspection, and one-stop release. Second, there will be a front push and back shift approach. Agricultural product inspections and surcharge collections originally conducted within the port will be advanced or deferred to areas beyond the second-line ports to prevent congestion. Third, we will strengthen smart regulation. We will make good use of big data and artificial intelligence to further connect the systems and businesses of customs, maritime authorities, border inspection, and port authorities to make sure that there is mutual approval and information sharing among these departments. Fourth, we will also strengthen credit management. And for businesses that have a relatively high credit, we will reduce the frequency of inspection so that their products can go through the customs quicker. So overall, the convenience will remain between the free trade port and other parts of China. It will not affect any travelers when they go in and out of Hainan. Instead, we will provide more convenient and more smart passage for both personnel and goods. For travelers, they can buy more products duty-free. They can enjoy better services. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. 大象 News. The master plan and the free trade port law says that there will be a list for prohibited and restricted items. Can you brief us more on the list? Thank you.
Thank you. We know that trade and investment liberalization and facilitation is one of the 5 conveniences for the policy making in FTP. General Secretary Xi Jinping made a lot of directives on FTP building. MOFCOM and relative departments have made the list of goods and items banned and restricted from import and export in the FTP. And it is a brand new exploration of trading goods management, and it is helpful for improving trade and investment facilitation and liberalization. Is an important arrangement. And we can look at it from 2 aspects. First, the list boosts transparency of trading goods management. Based on FTP law and the foreign trade law, for the first time, the list comprehensively and systematically stipulates the scope of the goods and items under import and export bans and controls. So market entities will know the scope clearly and quickly. Second, the list boosts the openness of trading goods. While observing international conventions, safeguarding national security and bioconservation, the list loosens the restrictions on some imports of goods to serve the need of the FTP. One example is that used mechanical and electrical products of 60 commodity codes, and their import licenses have been cancelled, covering 80% of such products under import licensing mechanism. And based on the current pilot zones and comprehensive bonded zones, products of 38 commodity codes are covered for bonded maintenance in both ends abroad in the FTP. And please stay tuned for the specific list on our website. We believe that the list will boost the development of FTP, and we will work with relative departments to further implement the list to deliver more benefits to the entities. Thank you. Thank you. And it's already 4 years of the policy of exempting domestic sales of processed goods with value added, and what adjustments have been made in this aspect. Thank you for your question, and it is an important one. This policy refers to the exemption of import tariffs on goods produced by encouraged industries in the FTP that contain imported materials and have a processing value-added rate of over 30% when they enter the mainland from Hainan. And the import VAT and consumption tax will still be levied. In July 2021, the policy was first piloted in Yangpu bonded port zone. For the past 4 years, the pilot policy has witnessed multiple adjustments, and The scope of pilots expanded from the only 2.3 square kilometer Yangpu bounded zone to the entire FTP in Hainan. Based on our past experiences, GACC and the relative departments and Hainan province have further improved the tariff exemption policy after closure. With the formulation of the interim measures on tax collection and administration of such goods. Compared with the current pilot policy, the new policy after closure will focus on the following upgrades. First, bringing more benefits to companies. We now don't require benefited companies to have their main business income of the encouraged industries account for over 60% of the company's total income. Second, we expanded the scope of imported materials. Before, only bonded goods fell under the category. Now, zero tariff imported goods are added. Third, refining calculation. The value of goods produced entirely in the Hainan FTP is now counted as value added. So companies will meet 30% value added threshold more easily. Fourth, expanding the scope of cumulative value added calculation. For bonded goods processed by different upstream or downstream enterprises, the incremental value added at each stage can be aggregated, encouraging enterprises to extend their industrial chains. So, in general, after closure, the policy brings more benefits to more companies that will satisfy the needs of production of companies in the island to foster better industrial chains and industrial clusters. Thank you. Thank you. My question is, on expanding cooperation in trade and economy with Arab states, what are the measures be taken? Will there be specific programs, for example, the navigation lines or specific cooperation programs? Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question. The Hainan province attaches great importance to our businesses and tourism cooperation with Arab countries. Myself and Governor Xiaoming, we've been to several Arab and Gulf countries. Since this year, the business cooperation between Hainan and Arab countries continued to deepen. The Yangpu port in Hainan have established cooperation relations with the Abu Dhabi port. The maritime routes between these two ports, they already exist, and there are flights from Hainan to Dubai. So basically, we're connected both by the sea and by air. And we are thinking about increasing more flights. And I think both the Maritime Silk Road and Air Silk Road exist between our two sides. The Abu Dhabi Khalifa Economic Zone, the Dubai Free Zone, and the Jebel Ali Free Zone. They are also partners with Hainan. We have partnerships with these zones. Hainan has quite a lot of partnerships with various types of economic zones, and many of them are in Arab countries. Trade between Hainan and Arab countries have went up over 30% in these years. And the trade volume last year exceeded 24 billion yuan. The Hainan Free Trade Port will continue to play an important role for the dual circulation economic outlook in China. We will continue to take steps to deepen our trade and tourism, and culture and education cooperation with Arab countries. We will also work with Arab countries in terms of clean energy. We will further open up these industries. We are planning for holding a World Free Trade Area conference. We hope that this conference can be held this year together with the city of Jeddah. We are also thinking about relevant cultural activities. Going forward, we will open up more flights, carry out more cultural activities to bring our people closer. And I hope that together we can create more opportunities. And please convey our very warm welcome to all the Arab businesses for them to invest and settle down in our free trade port. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. Hainan has been promoting the building of an international tourism consumption hub. What has been achieved and what will we do going forward? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Hainan Sunlight, Holiday Delight. Hainan is always a very good tourism destination for domestic and foreign tourists. In recent years, we have spent a lot of efforts in building such a consumption center, and we have crafted dual-loop tourism highway. The coastal loop winds along the island perimeter with 988 kilometers, with over 50% of seawall exposure. The rainforest loop traverses 466 kilometers with the tropical national park view weaving through mountains. The dual loop transforms every journey into a moving panorama with picturesque view. And actually, we have successfully held China International Consumer Product Expo for 5 years in a row. It has become Asia's largest global hub for premium consumer goods showcasing and trading. And it can provide a solid foundation for fulfilling people's needs for a better life, and also let them to have direct access to our goods and let Chinese goods to come to the world. And we have created new forms of tourism, like the cruise ships, yachts, space tourism projects. Many people come to Hainan to attend concerts, musical festivals, and brand exhibitions. It has become a new trend. In 2024, we have received 97.2 million tourists, up by 8% year-on-year, and the inbound tourists more than doubled. In this year, we'll have the special customs operation and expand opening up. We'll seize opportunities to expedite the building of an international tourism and consumption center. We'll move faster to build new cultural and tourist consumption scenarios, including building a new batch of international cultural and tourist IPs and projects, and upgrading existing tourist attractions, so as to provide more diversified experience for our tourists. On the other hand, we'll strive to create a secure, reliable, enjoyable, and hassle-free tourism consumption environment. We'll have a relevant consumption system to enable the tourists to know these sellers and to have regulated services. Will cover all sectors. So with credible and standardized business operations and warm and thoughtful services, domestic and international tourists will feel at home and live enchanted. Last, I would like to invite our friends. Please come to the end of the earth where spring lingers all year round. We welcome you. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. The 大众 Daily. Apart from the trading goods lists, the Minister of Finance will take what measures apart from that? Thank you for the question.
Thank you for your question. Promoting reform and development through opening up is a magic key to advancing Chinese modernization. And MOFCOM has been working relentlessly on the building of the FTP with a series of new progress. For the past 5 years, the actual use of FDI in Hainan exceeded the past 32 years total. The annual growth rate of trading goods exceeded 30%. Hainan's is upgrading its export-oriented economy. And now with the unilateralism and protectionism's rise and the risks facing multilateral trade systems, China will continue to expand opening up and build the FTP and to make contribution of economic development and inject stability and certainty into the world economy. And we will focus on the following aspects. First, promoting institutional opening up. Support the FTP to align itself with high-standard international trade rules. Focus on trade and investment liberalization facilitation and push for institutional innovation in terms of openness and fair competition of the market, and make rules, regulations, management, and standards more consistent with each other. Second, cultivating new driving forces. We have worked to build a series of pilot zones and platforms, including island-wide free trade pilot zones, cross-border e-commerce pilot zones, and comprehensive pilot for expanding service opening up. So as we can harness the synergistic advantage of opening up. Third, new driving forces. We complement, extend, and strengthen key industrial chains to expand innovative development of trading goods, services, and digital trade, and to promote new economic models and industries to foster industrial clustering. Thank you. Thank you. On December 18th, customs closure will be implemented. And how will you take the opportunity to strengthen high-quality development and build Hainan-specific modern industrial systems? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Creating a modern industrial system with Hainan characteristics and edges is a requirement of General Secretary Xi Jinping, and the most important work to achieve high-quality development. I think that the characteristics and edges means that we should activate the comparative comparative edges of Hainan and also to create the competitiveness of our industries. Overall, the island-wide special customs operation is conducive to gathering global elements, allocating global resources, and advancing industries' development. And we could sum it up to 4 figures, 4, 5, 3, 2. 4 means we'll advance supplementing, extending, and upgrading 4 leading industries chains. I've just mentioned that these 4 pillar industries accounts for 67% of our output value, up by 13.7 percentage points. And we'll create high-standard international tourism and consumption center and a world-class tourism destinations. And Governor Liu Xiaoming also introduced relevant situation on modern service industry. We have a very influential event, which is the China International Consumer Product Expo, which has been held for 5 times. We expand services of new types of trade to Southeast Asia and other regions. On high-tech industries, we'll boost offshore wind power, biomedicine, digital economy, and other industrial clusters. On tropical high-efficiency specialty agriculture, we'll provide our people with more new, unique, special, and high-quality tropical produce. Provide them with more choices. I believe you've also tasted our tropical produce. The 5 means we'll develop key hubs for cultivating new quality productive forces in 5 areas. According to our special climate, our maritime conditions, and other natural endowment, and also the ages in our opening up policy. We have determined these 5 priority areas. On the seeding industry, we aim to create a world-class seed breeding zone and bring the seeds of Hainan to the rest of the world. On the maritime development, we'll develop deep-sea technology and strive to build a maritime Hainan. Our maritime economy accounts for 1/3 of our economy, and will move faster in the future. On the aerospace development, we'll use the resources of commercial aerospace launch center to grow other industries, to let them prosper, like the rocket chain, satellite chain, data chain, and aerospace plus industries. And on the green development, we enhance the building of the low-carbon island, and also enhance the international competitiveness in carbon footprint of our products and services. And we have relatively strong competitiveness in this area. And on the digital economy, we'll develop international data center and AI big data models, and seize the opportunities brought by the new round of sci-tech revolution and industrial transformation. The 3 means we'll make good use of consumption in high-end offshore shopping, medicine, and education, and we'll build a gold banner of offshore duty-free policy and provide our people with more cost-effective duty-free goods. We'll continue to develop the Boao-Lecheng Medical Special Zone and enable more patients to enjoy the advanced medical resources of the world. We've built the Study in Hainan brand, which enables more students to access high-standard international education resources. Actually, we have many independent and jointly operated programs. The two means to build an island where talents gather and an island where tech innovation thrives. We'll expedite opening up and cooperation to gather international talents and enable the sci-tech innovation to empower the building of the modern industry systems. We are pursuing to build up the competence and the capacity of this innovation, and we sincerely invite investors all around the world to invest and start business in Hainan. We'll provide quality services and enable other people to achieve their targets, recruit talents, and prosper. Thank you. Thank you, CCTV. To better implement the zero tariff line for the imported goods and relax relevant regulation, what measures will take to have efficient and convenient regulation for the free trade port?
Thank you. Thank you for your attention to customs affairs. To effectively implement the zero tariff policy on imported goods, relax trade management, and standardize customs supervision over Hainan FTP, the GACC has formulated the document named Customs Supervision Measures for the Hainan Free Trade Port, along with supporting regulations. They clarify the supervision requirements after closure. The requirements include goods moving between Hainan FTP and foreign territories, and goods entering the mainland from Hainan FTP, and goods circulating within the FTP. So this is an institutional framework. The guiding principle is what is relaxed at the first line must be strictly controlled at the second line. The specific measures include, first, at the first line, we enhance customs facilitation. The policy called Easy Pass is the policy stipulated by Hainan Province, a streamlined clearance policy for imported goods, explicitly defined under the Hainan Free Trade Port law. Except for goods subject to inspection, quarantine, or licensing requirements, customs will directly pass zero-tariff goods, bonded goods, and others in accordance with regulations. In June 2020, this policy was first piloted in the Yangpu Bonded Port Zone and later expanded to the Haikou Airport Comprehensive Bonded Zone and Yangpu Economic Development Zone, significantly improving clearance efficiency and reducing costs. After the special customs operation or the closure, Easy Pass will be implemented across the entire free trade port. Second, at the second line, we focus on smart and efficient oversight. We have two channels. First, the customs regulated channel. It will manage zero-tariff goods, goods benefiting from the processed value-added policy, and goods under liberalized trade measures. 3 categories in total. And the second channel, the non-customs channel, administered by Hainan, will handle other domestically circulated goods under existing domestic trade rules, maximizing convenience for cross-mainland trade. And for the 3 categories, customs introduced a process called batch release and consolidated declaration. Enterprises may first clear goods through the second line and later submit declarations together. Customs has drastically reduced the number of required declaration fields for second line exits. And it has cut the items for declaration from 105 items to 42 items. Next, based on the future special customs operation and the actual need of Hainan province, the GACC will further improve its management to facilitate institutional opening up and high-quality development of the province and the FTP. Thank you. Next question, please.
谢谢主持人。海南广播电视总台记者提问：刚才发布人提到，全岛封关是海南自贸港新阶段的
You just mentioned
也是一项
that
长
closure
期的任务。
is the starting point of a new phase, and what measures will be taken in the future to support further opening up of Hainan province and FTP? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. As you've said, island-wide customs closure will mark a new start for the building of the free trade port. Going forward, we will continue to act on the master plan and will work with the Hainan province and other relevant departments to further implement and carry out a policy system that matches high-level free trade port. We will continue to open up, and we will mainly focus on conveniences in the following 6 areas. First, trade. On the trade front, we will speed up efforts to build a trade management system that is safe, convenient, and that offers free entry and exit. One part of it is that we will continue to increase the zero tariff list, make trade in goods better in Hainan. And also we will continue to open up not only the manufacturing sector, but also the services sector. This means that we will gradually open up the services sector, including education, medical care, etc. And this means market access plus operational permits. So this is on trade. Second, on investment, we will continue to build an open, transparent, and predictable investment environment. And this means to better facilitate cross-border investment, to further ease access for foreign investment, and introduce measures to further ease market access. We will fully implement the compliance pledge admission reform and establish a process-oriented investment facilitation system. Third, we will gradually build up a financial policy system that can help with opening up. As our trade continues to grow, we are in greater need of cross-border financial services. So we will further improve the multifunctional trade account to give it more functions and applications to further deepen opening up in this area and explore the possibility of cross-border asset management. Fourth, in terms of personnel, we will provide easier entry-exit policies. We will further lift restrictions for the flow of people, give more relaxed entry-exit policies for temporary travel for business personnel, easier visa access, and also to make residence permit system better. Fifth, we will make our shipping system easier, and that means freedom of shipment. We will speed up the development of Yangpu Port as a port of registry, continue to improve policies for ship survey, provide better shipping services. We will further lift airspace control and traffic right restrictions, and liberalize the seventh freedom traffic rights. Six, we will build an efficient, safe, and secure cross-border data flow mechanism. This is something many businesses need. It is also what is needed for trading data and data management. So we will continue to open up in terms of communication and data and carry out a negative list in terms of data management. We will also speed up international communications, gateway building, and transnational submarine cable projects. This will help us to further enable our trade in our digital trade and the development of the digital economy. We will have 2 more questions. Thank you. From Daily Economy. In recent years, the Ministry of Finance has introduced a number of policies to support the building of the port. So after closure, what policy reforms will continue to be conducted? Thank you for your question. I know this attracts a lot of attention. As many of you know, the development of the port will, of course, involve reform of taxes. The master plan has laid down requirements for tax reform, and that is we will take a step-by-step and phased approach. Our goal is to have low tariff and a reduction of tariffs. Our goal is to have a tax regime that is competitive internationally to support the building of the port. So after the release of the master plan, the ministry has gradually introduced a number of policies, including new duty-free policies for off-island travelers, and tax benefits for both business and personal incomes, and zero tariffs for certain imports. So going forward, our ministry will continue to work with relevant departments to deepen reform of our tax regime to ensure continued policy support and policy benefits. We will focus mainly on the following 5 areas. First, we will continue to ensure the current tax incentives for business and personal income taxes. This will attract and encourage more high-caliber personnel and businesses to come and settle down in Hainan to support the building of the port. Second, we will continue to lengthen the zero tariff list and make adjustments when necessary for the imports. Third, we will continue to ensure the implementation of duty-free policies for off-island travelers. We will also make adjustments when necessary to continue to support Hainan's building of an international tourism consumption hub, as the governor mentioned earlier. Fourth, we will actively look into the import policies for local residents. We are thinking about having a positive list for the import of these policies so that they can buy these imports, certain imports duty-free. And this will make life easier and better for the local residents. Fifth, we will continue to carry forward reform of the sales tax. Sales tax is the integration of multiple taxes, including VAT, vehicle purchase tax, consumption tax, urban maintenance and construction tax, and education surcharge. So this is a rather extensive, a complicated tax. Thus, in the process of this reform, we need to look both at current needs and also think long-term. Thus, we will advance research in this area in an orderly and steady way and pilot its implementation in accordance with the development of the free port. Here, I would also like to thank all the journalists for your attention and care for our work. Thank you. Last question. We've noted that Hainan has always attached great importance to institutional integrated innovation. Are there any good examples? And going forward, after the closure, how will Hainan continue to carry out work in this regard? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Hainan sees integrated institutional innovation as an important pivot to deliver on reforms, with 166 innovation cases in 20 batches. Many of them have been recognized by central departments and replicated nationwide, playing a positive role as the pilot zone of opening up. One example is the 7 one-stop services, including credit repair, which have been replicated nationwide. And we also fully give into play of relative policies such related to credit. And we also rolled out FTP-specific policies on foreigners and efficiency. Another example is Land Supermarket, a platform for selection and deal of lands online that will be very convenient for companies to buy lands, and that also solve the difficulty of wanting to have a project but no land, or wanting to have land but no project. And we also also take the lead in such policies such as cross-border a whole process oversight over zero-tariff imported goods, or e-label for duty-free cosmetics. And these are all beneficial explorations. Next, we will take integrated institutional innovation as the key to development and solving difficulties surrounding customs closure. We will explore and sum up new practices of closure in system design, management, legal support, and oversight, so as to build a special customs era with international competitiveness and influence. And we'll also align with high-standard economic and trade rules to make rules, regulations, management, and standards consistent with each other, to boost reform and opening up and high-quality development, and to roll out and foster integrated institutional innovation outcomes with nationwide influence and FTP's characteristics, so as to bring new drivers, advantages, and dynamism of the FTP. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your commitment and support for our work. Thank you very much. And that's the end of today's press conference.